I will see if this works. Greetings. This is Barrett. Welcome to meet me at the painting table. It's been a long time. I'm not even sure if this is going to work. But what I'm doing tonight is we're going to have a short painting stream, but it's still going to be fun. So what I'm doing tonight is I have a new setup back here in my painting area, and I'm working to refine it. But first I wanted to see if it's going to be powerful enough to even do what I want to even do this and see how long it lasts. That's the plan. So I appreciate anybody jumping on. I don't expect to see too many people, but if you do jump on, welcome. We're going to have a party here. Greetings from Canada. Awesome to have you here. Thank you so much, Ivan, for showing up. One thing I apologize for right now is I do not have the click to put my chat out thing going. This is very rudimentary setup right now. So like I said, those of you that are joining, this is just a test to see if this works, but we're still going to paint some miniatures. That's what we're going to do. It's going to be super fun. So I appreciate anybody jumping on and having a great time. Ivan, awesome to have you here. Greetings from Canada. Canada must be pretty gorgeous right about now. Nice springtime over in Canada. Can't be bad. So we're going to see if this works. I've got this set up. I've got this set up as well. So I can kind of paint up what I'm painting some miniatures. What I'm painting up tonight actually is going to be, you're going to see a lot of gold. What am I testing? I'm testing out a new, I'm using a new computer setup for my painting streams. So I don't have any of the cool stuff that you helped me put in here, Steve, but I appreciate you being here. I will have to pick your brain later in the world, in the weeks to follow, so that I can set it up like I have all my other ones set up, because you set up most of that, and that's super awesome of you to do that. But anyway, we are going to do some painting. Here's what we're painting up. I'm painting up this combat patrol from Warhammer 40K. For those of you that don't know, my son is huge into Warhammer 40K right now. So I thought, why not join him in his endeavor? So I am also painting up a army. I am painting up the, what is it called? It's called the Adeptus Custodes. That is my army of choice for painting up. You are going to be seeing a lot of what they call gold. A lot of gold. Got it right here. I'm actually working on this. That's the deal. I'm a huge fan of yours. I've always loved all of your gameplays. Thank you so much, Max. That's amazing. Thank you for joining me here, and thank you for the kind words. Good timing, because I want to paint some Nemesis Retaliation figures. Great time to do it. Great time to do it. Like I said, I'm only going to be doing this for about an hour, but we're going to get some stuff done. Awesome to have you here, Max. Like I said, at the beginning, we are just kind of testing some stuff here, but if this works, I'll be able to do a lot more painting streams, because one of the problems with my painting streams is, in order to do it, Colin and I do a lot of streaming on Tuesdays or Thursdays, and sometimes we're not sure when it's going to work out. In order to get my painting streams, I used to have to pull every single, like that, I have to lug up a computer back here, so I had to lug everything back and forth. So this way, I'm working on trying to get two specific setups, one for painting, and then one for when we do our live stuff. So that way I don't have to try to keep moving this stuff back and forth. I can kind of keep some stuff set up the best I can do. At least that's my plan. Also, we'll see how long the battery lasts on this computer. That's going to be the other big kicker here, and see how long it goes. But I do have a charge cord somewhere I think I can plug in if we need to. But that's beyond the point. Thank you, Max, Ivan, and Steve for joining. Howdy, howdy, Ryan. Awesome to have you here. We are painting up some Adeptus Custodes today. For those of you that don't know the Adeptus Custodes, they are a Warhammer 40K army. My son and I are actually thinking about doing a few of these, maybe about one a month, where we kind of do a battle report with with our Warhammer armies. That's going to be our plan. I hope that's something that people enjoy or are interested in seeing. So you're going to see a lot of gold today. But I've actually kind of started on this guy, and then I thought, you know what, I'm going to try the new painting things out. So I already got a lot of gold on this guy already, so we're going to work on some other stuff. I also put some black down in here, which is good, but when I painted a lot of gold, I noticed that I hit a lot of things that were not gold. So I'm going to have to use my what they call oopsie paint, which is gray sear gray, and that's going to touch it back up to its normal size here. Max says, hey, quick question. I've never painted before, but really want to paint my new Oathsworn miniatures that I just got. But I saw that there are a lot of paints that require to paint them. Any tips? Good question. basically, yes, painting is a kind of a big upfront cost hobby when it comes to the hobby itself. But once you get going, it's good to get, like, I mean, you have to dig in, grab a couple brushes, like a primer of some kind. Normally I use gray, light gray as my primer. I don't know if I have it here. I use either Gray Sea or Gray from Games Workshop, which is pretty pricey, or else I've got some other gray here, but I like to use gray. Here it is. Here's another one I use. It's called Ghost Gray, I think. You can't even read it. It's been used for so much. This is a surface primer as well. Once I prime the miniatures, which are primed in gray, as you can see, use gray. So I primed them all in this gray color here. Thing here. So he's all primed in gray. Then yes, then comes the big purchase where you have to buy your paints, and there are a lot of paints. I will quickly kind of maybe show you my paints. This is not exactly how the setup's supposed to go, but here we go. So then you get your paints here, and now something's going on here. I'm screwing something up here. Let's see what's going on here. Whoop. Now I've got another thing. Now I got things going on. Let's see here. Mass chaos here. Okay. So then you go. You got paints. I've got lots of different kinds. Mostly I've got Army Painter paints. Those are kind of more for base stuff. And then I've got contrast paints, which I actually really like. I use a lot of contrast paints. That's what I used a lot of. Okay, that was a bad idea, Baron, picking this thing up. Oh boy. Okay. Hope I'm still okay. I think we're still live. All right. I don't think I screwed anything up too badly. I don't think. Okay. It's just out of control. Okay. There we go. Well, no, that's totally fine. I'm glad I could help. I'm glad you're getting into the hobby. So yes, I mean, pick up some contrast paints that you think you're going to want. Some of the ones you kind of want to go with the basics, like you want a flesh color, you're going to want a couple browns, a couple greens. Like I would recommend like an army green, and then like a bright green. Some great colors are like Gilliman's Flesh is a fun color. What else I got? I'm a huge fan of Snakebite Leather. Snakebite Leather is a fantastic color if you can get a hold of that one. And then as you start figuring out what you want to paint it, that's the colors you might want to go look for. You know what I mean? Once you find the colors you're interested in, and your paint collection will grow. It'll keep growing and growing. It'll never go away. Just once you think you have a space big enough for your paints, you need a bigger space. That's what happens. Right? Dan, it is good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. Heck yes, my favorite random painting guy in his basement. Yes, I am. I'm back in my basement. I am testing out a new painting streaming ability here. We're going to see how this goes. There might be some hiccups here and there. There might be some Barrett running away and coming back type things. But for now, this is just a test. Like I said, we're going to do it for about an hour. We're going to paint. I was painting up some Adeptus Custodes in case people are just joining. There are these guys right here. What we're doing with them is painting gold, and I'm also painting some oopsie paint on them because I painted some areas that I did not mean to get with gold. So we need to fix that. So we're going to take this Gray Sea or Gray, which is paint that's awesome because you can paint it right over where you might have hit something that you didn't want to. Let's see here. I know I saw some. Oh, like for right down here. There is I don't know if you can see it in there, but he's got these little like robe things that come in here. These kind of hang down a little bit right here, like right inside there. Well, I hit them with gold. So I'm going to hit them with this Gray Sea or Gray over the gold. Once that dries, it'll be gray again, and then I can paint the color I want on top of it. The reason I have to do this is because when you use those contrast paints, which is the ones I really like to use, they don't really go over other colors. But if you paint contrast paints over other colors, you can get different colors, which is kind of neat. Yeah, so I'm repainting that gray so that I can paint over it in a different color. Like I hit this little bootstrap here, so I'm going to paint that over with this gray as well. There we go, just like that. See what else I got to hit. I hit this one too. So we're going to paint that a little bit too. Because later I'm going to paint over those with probably some Snakebite Leather, one of my favorite colors. It's a good color for like leather and boots and things like that. Do you have to do multiple coats with contrast? No, no you do not. That's the best part. The best part about contrast, it does two things in one. It not only paints the model, it also shades the model at the same time. It's my favorite paint. Like I said, the only problem with is you can't like paint over other. It's kind of, it's a little finicky in the fact that you have to, where you paint it, you have to make sure is like this gray or a white, and not another color, because it's not really going to go. It's not going to. It wouldn't mask the other color. For example, if I just took a silver and started painting over this gold, it would go right over the gold and make it silver. Where if I painted over, if I put a contrast paint over this, it wouldn't do that. It doesn't really, it doesn't cover up the other paint. And you'll see what I mean in just a second here. Once I get all this done, I'm going to use some of those contrast paints. So you're going to see how that works. You can see it in action here in a second. Like I said, first I got to paint all the oopsie parts with this gray sear gray. Now I'm not going to paint this up here that I hit with gold, because I'm just going to repaint that silver. And that's and silver will go right over this stuff. Should be just fine. But anything else that I think is going to be not silver, I'm going to need to fix. Let's see here. What else? And there's also some gold I need to do again too. I need to get some gold. There's also a few places where I've missed with gold that I got to hit. I'm noticing as I'm spinning the model around. I know it's a little blurry, but I just painted the Kraken Mini from Abyss. I'm trying to practice my wet blending with speed paints. Well, that's awesome, Adam. And I apologize, I don't have my neat little clicker where I can click the chats to pop up, because normally I hit the button and a chat can pop up so everybody can read it. But I don't have that tonight. Steve needs to teach me how to do that. And he's a genius. He's the YouTube genius. If you don't know who Steve is, he's one of the 2 members of the Coop Guild, which is a wonderful YouTube channel. You should check it out. They just got done playing Ashes a little while ago, and Steve is here with us tonight too. How long does it take to dry so you can play games with those? Real quick. It takes real quick to dry. It's no time at all. You could probably paint this and play it in about a couple hours, depending on how thick you put the paint on. It's usually not a big deal at all. You can paint them pretty quick, and you can play with them pretty quick. All right, let's hear. So we're done with a little bit of the oopsie paint for now. We're going to go back to the gold. And I just use Retributor Armor Gold. It's a really nice gold. It's what they call a base paint, so it's actually really it really goes over well and covers pretty well, which is good. So I'm just putting some on my brush. I do not use like a wet palette or anything. My types of painting, I have branded the notion of slop and drop. So I slop the paint on, and then I drop it on the table and I play with it. That's how it goes. Now, so I need to make sure I get all the parts gold that I want to get gold. That's the deal. After a quick brush of varnish. So you prime first, then you go straight into your contrast paints. You totally can. That's what I do. So this is just, I prime this with gray sear gray, and then, well here, for example, let's do this guy. We're going to put this guy on hold over here, because I'm kind of already through him. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick out parts of this model. For example, see this black down here? All right, we're going to paint that on this guy, because that's the first thing I want to do. I always want to kind of paint the farther parts, the deeper into the miniature, and come out. So I want to paint something that's a little bit deeper in the miniature. So I'm going to take, I have a real small brush here. It's a 3.0 is what they call it. You can find some of these, well I got these on a Kickstarter, but you can go to a hobby store and find, and don't cheap out on brushes. Brushes are kind of nice. Your brushes are kind of your best friend. So for example, he's got this little ridge down there at the bottom here, and his pants is. So I'm going to take it and just paint it right over this gray, and then once it dries, it's going to look like brown, or black, I mean, which is really nice. And see, as you can see, it's not only painting it black, it's kind of giving it that depth already with the shade that's kind of already built into it. And I'll show you again in just a second here. I'm going to paint this right here on his bottom here. There we go. And it's kind of already started to become a shade. Now, since he's actually got a face, we're going to actually paint his flesh, so I can show you that. And this is all I'm going to do. I'm just going to paint that. I'm going to take the contrast paint and I'm going to paint it right on there. We're going to take Gilliman flesh. Here's Gilliman flesh. We're just going to take that. I'm going to shake it up. I always shake up your paint, so you shake, 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 shake that paint. And some of them you're going to notice, for example, not this one, But some of them are going to, let's find this one for example, is Militarum green. Really good military looking green, like very camouflage looking green. But if you notice, the bottom of it has this big white on the bottom. So you actually have to take it and shake it up real good until that's all gone. And then you'll know that your paint's thoroughly mixed, at least this color. Most other colors have a tendency to mix pretty easily and pretty well. So for example, as you can see, it's slowly kind of coming off the bottom of that paint. But you just keep shaking it until it's all off. Some of them are like that. You just got to keep shaking. I've got, and if you hear, you're hearing clinking, clinking, clinking in there. I've got these, I don't know if I've got these like mixing balls somewhere here. Ha, here they are. They're just little ball bearings. And sometimes I put them in some of the paints that take a little bit more to shake up, like that Militarum green, because it takes a while to get that to kind of go all together here. Broccoli Docklins, good to see you. Thank you so much for joining. It's awesome to have you here. Do you have to wait long after you prime before you can paint them? Great question. 30 minutes? Depends on how thick you put the primer on and what kind of primer you use. Like I said, the primers I use, they usually dry pretty quick. Then you can start painting them. I usually prime a bunch of them, do something for a little bit, and then come back. And I kind of prime in the afternoon so that I'm all set to paint in the evening. By far, easily done like that. Army Painter speed paints come with a small ball bearing in the bottom already. This is true. I think I've got one. Here's some of the speed. This is also another kind of paint you can get. If you look at the contrast paints, and they're kind of expensive, which they kind of are. Speed paints, I think, are a little bit cheaper, and they do very, very similar, if not the same thing. And you can shake this up. You can hear it, that little ball in there going back and forth. And they're inside every single one of these speed paints. So his is hardened leather. It's very similar to the snakebite leather that I was talking about. I'm guessing you prime outside. That is true. I'm afraid I would get paint fume in the house. Yes, that's a great idea. I actually have I call it my priming board. It can kind of hold about 5 miniatures. So I'll like take a piece of tape and I'll tape them to the thing, and then I'll prime them. And as I'm priming, I can spin the board and prime a little bit this way, prime it this way, and prime it this way. And then I kind of let it sit for a few minutes. And once I feel it's kind of dry enough, I'll pull it off and I'll actually flip it upside down and prime it a little bit this way, prime it a little bit that way, because otherwise if you're just priming from the one front side, you might not get the undersides of everything. So I prime it upside down a little bit, and I prime it once from the top. And that's usually how I do it. I prime it all like that. That's the deal. And there you go. I personally like to use brush on prime. I just slap it on and it's very quick. So there's another option. And please, Max, ask a lot of questions, because there's some fantastic painters in here that are even better, that are way better than me. That's for sure. But so I hope that helps. But here I'm going to take, for example, this is the base gray. I'm going to take Gilliam and Flesh here. I'm just going to paint it right on this guy. Just slap it right on there, or like I say, slop it on there. Since I do slop and drop. Go around it a little bit here. And let's see here, he's got, there we go. I know it's kind of hard to see as I'm painting it here, because this isn't the best camera for this. I was just doing my quick test setup. I'm going to try to get a better camera here. We're just going to kind of paint this on here. He's in his little armor suit here, so I'm kind of painting onto the armor, and that's okay, because the color I'm going to paint over the armor is that gold, and it's just going to go right, and that'll go right over this. It's not a contrast paint or a speed paint. But then the thing about the speed paints too is you want to make sure that they don't pool, because they can pool, and that would mean you're going to get like pools of brown and stuff on them where you don't want it. So I've painted the Gilliam and Flesh onto there, and it's just going to sit right there, and see how it kind of already kind of gives a like a what do you call it, a wash look to it already, which is kind of neat. Now I'll go back and kind of paint the teeth a little bit, maybe. We'll see. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that, because I'm not that good at that kind of getting that close of a technique, but that's on there now. That's good to go. Just like that. Boom. Speed paint different from contrast paint. It's the same type of concept. What it's doing is painting, and it's also what do you call it? Painting and washing, I guess you could kind of say, at the same time, which is why I like them so much. I don't think I have a dude I'm working on that does that. Like I said, I'm just going to use some gold. But the gold is done for the most part. There's probably parts I missed, and I'll go back and get those. But for now, let's see here. I got a little oopsie I got to fix here. We're going to do that. Let's see here. So I hit this part a little with the black here. So we're going to go back and hit that with the gray so I can go over it with a different color here soon. There we go. That's good. Let's see where else I hit here. I think that's about all I hit, which I'm pretty proud of myself, kind of. A little bit there. There you go. Go across that there. There you go. Perfect. Sure. All right, well, that gold dries. I'm going to get some silver. Now, I've got a little thingy I put my paints on that most of the time I paint them right out of the pot, but if I use like anything that's got little dropper bottles, I'm going to use that. And I also have my little water cup here that's off to the side that I wash off my little brush. And a lot of people, when you use a metal, sometimes a lot of people will switch out their waters, but I'm not good at painting, so I just don't care. Let's see here, what was I going to get? Silver. So I've got multiple silvers, but here I've got shining silver. It's my brightest silver. I've got gunmetal, which is kind of a real dark one. And I've got this Iron Warriors one, which is also it's basically the same as this one. It's just a different company. Gunmetal and this Iron Warriors are pretty much the same metal. But we're going to make it kind of shiny silver. We're going to do shiny silver. Should we do silver yet? No, let's do something else first. Let's make sure we get all the gold first. I want to make sure I get the gold first on this. Oh, I think I missed a whole section here. Okay, let's get my paintbrush. And I got a bigger brush now. I got this one. The one is like a standard brush, brush size, I think, when it comes to miniature painting. So we're going to take some of that. And I missed this whole area inside his armor, right under his arm. I don't know if you can see it. And there he is. It's kind of right in there. You missed that whole section. So we're going to go in here, and we're just going to hit that with gold. Gold, 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 gold right there, just like that. And under there, and then I missed his arm in here. His arm is gold. This is gold. Though you never know if you. That's the thing. Is like, when do you stop when people? I mean, is somebody physically going to pick up your miniature and look under his arm? I mean, who knows? But the thing is, the sad thing is, I'll always know it's there, so I'm going to want to paint it. Otherwise, I'll feel like, oh, I totally missed that part. Painting right there. Showing all the parts. That's awesome. That's my sub pump. It's been raining like crazy here. So that's always joyous to hear. Knows that I'll be mowing my lawn in the next few days. Let's see. I think that's pretty good. Oh, except for his arm. I missed his hand too. There's his hand right down here I missed. So I got to get his hand. And now since this is a base color, this is just a gold base color, I'm going to want to do a wash on it to make it kind of let the parts of the miniature kind of come out and really pop out of this thing. And I'll show you what I mean in a second here. So I'm kind of getting his hand right now. Again, I apologize, it's so blurry, but this thing's auto-focusing on my brush, not on the miniature, which I really wish it would do. I'm getting his hand here, which is holding this, like, it's like a trigger. Because this is the coolest thing about this dude, is he's got like this giant glaive thing, this spear that he attacks with, but it's also a gun too. See, it's got the front of a gun here, which is really cool. So this thing can shoot and it can do melee attacks at the same time. Like this is like the ultimate weapon here. This is what I want. It's like a gun blade, almost like who was it? Squall? Was he the guy from Final Fantasy VIII that used to have that gun blade? He was kind of cool. Oh, speaking of which, didn't that Magic the Gathering set, I think, came out this week? Or it comes out this week, I think. It's supposed to be dedicated to Final Fantasy. It wasn't so expensive. I might buy some of the cards, but that's the reason why it's so expensive. There's people like me that don't play as much Magic as I should, but would love to get my hands on that set. So again, I'm just kind of looking at the miniature now and touching up all the little parts that I missed while I was quickly painting gold on him earlier today, watching Steve play Ashes. Which was fun. Steve is a good Ashes player. I am not. I lost. What's going on down here? I gotta figure out what that is. We're good. Okay. I think we're doing pretty good. Now another thing you might want to do once you finish painting is you can put like a coat of like varnish on them to protect the paint. I don't do that, but a lot of people do. I don't protect my miniatures once I paint them. A lot of things I don't do that I probably should. That if people didn't know I didn't do, they'd probably think I'm crazy. And like I said, I'm not going for any kind of special awards. I just like to play games. There we go. Well, now see, I painted right onto that black part again. So now I'm going to have to go back and get the oopsie paint for that. But we're going to do that later. I think that's enough gold on this guy. I think we did it. Put a little more there. It really looks gold, doesn't it? Lots of gold. So yes, I strongly recommend kind of getting into the painting hobby. It's kind of fun. I mean, but you have to have patience. I finished one of these miniatures, and it took me. One of these took me, I think, 2.5 hours to finish it because it was also my test one. So this was actually probably going to only take me about 2 hours once it's all said and done because I know what I'm doing now, which is kind of nice. All right. Now we're going to put a wash on it, and the wash I put over my gold is called Reichland Flesh Shade. Wow. This is my gold wash, and it's going to make the gold kind of, it's going to actually dull it down, believe it or not, but it's going to allow me to see more of the depth in the recesses of the miniature, kind of like this guy. So this guy's like actually dry now. Check this dude out. So you want to know how long it takes to dry? There, this guy's dry, pretty much, and he looks pretty good. That face looks pretty good. I'm good. I'm okay with it. Like I'm okay just like that. Now see, he's got eyes. I could paint those eyes. We'll see. I'm not very good at painting eyes, so then it just might stay just like that. And I'll be okay with that. I'm totally fine with that. All right, we're going to take this Reichland Flesh Shade. We're going to put it all over the gold. And that's just because this isn't a contrast paint or a speed paint from Army Painter. So it needs kind of a shade in order to really kind of give it some depth. Now, like I said, when I do paint it on, it's going to dull it down a little bit too. But let's see here. We're going to put it right on that shoulder pad there. And let's see here if you can see the difference. So that's that shoulder pad with it on there. And this is the other shoulder pad without it on there. You just don't have as much, what do you call it, you can't see as much of the detail until I put this on. I'm going to put this on all the gold. Just like that. I'm just going to slop it on. And as you can tell, I've used a lot of Reichland Flesh Shade in my day. I mean, the bottle's almost gone. Now I'm also going to try not to get it on the parts that I still haven't painted yet because that's going to change the color of the gray. And then it's going to be harder for me to paint the contrast paints over. So the contrast paints are a little technical that way. And also, again, you're going to watch pooling. You don't want it to pool onto different parts of the miniature. You're going to get more of that one color there. So you want to kind of spread it around and go back over where you were before. But you still want to get enough on there so you can see the depth of the color or the miniature. There we go. It's like now he looks a little more gold as opposed to, again, this side I haven't done yet. There's not as much depth to it, if that makes sense. Let me see here. I gotta make sure everything's working here because, you know, first time doing this, see if this works. Let's see. I think it's still working. I think life is glorious here. Yes, it is. Okay. We're going to continue painting. And now we're going to go over this side and get some of that flesh shade. Oh, I better move it onto the camera that does that. Does that just like that. Now, if I get it inside that gray area inside there, I'm not too worried about it because I'm going to paint silver over that. And the silver will go right over it, so I'm not too worried. But I want to watch out for the band that's going across there because I'm planning to paint that with a brown. Same with this area next to its gauntlets, and the gun is going to be painted something different, so I don't want to hit that with this. There we go. Good, I'm hitting just the gold. He's trying to, doing my best. Keep it going. Get in there. Get this. Get inside there, we go. A little bit too much on there, so I want to kind of get that off. There we go. This guy's looks super cool when he's done. And like I said, my son is into the Warhammer 40K, so I'm kind of painting up some guys to play with him. We're going to start doing some of this battle reports on the channel pretty soon. I think it'll be fun. Hope people are okay with that. But I think it'd be kind of fun to be able to do some things with my son. There we go. Get some more on there. Now this is going to take a little while to dry. That's okay. We got some things we can do while it dries. Again, sorry about the camera getting all fuzzy when I'm painting, but it's focusing on this brush, which I don't really want it to do. I want it to focus on the dude. Nothing like that. We'll have to use a different camera next time. Turn the miniature upside down. Another thing you can get is some people also like to have their miniatures on these like stands that they can support their miniature on. I don't do that. I just hold it. But they have like miniature things you can hold your miniatures on. What do you call them? Like little grasper things. Wow, that's the most horrible death. I think it's the worst thing I've ever tried to explain. Except maybe my job yesterday. That was not exactly the best. Let's see here. There we go, just like that. Like I said, just kind of getting it on all the gold, but try not to hit too much of the other stuff. And I'll tell you, I painted up my Elsworn miniatures and they look amazing. I wonder if I think I still have them here. I might have given it to Colin because Colin said he wanted to play it with some friends, but both of us decided that we can't play that game for a while because it's just so memorable that when you play the game again, it's like, oh, I remember this already. I gotta find parts I don't remember. And that's gonna be really hard to do because it was such a memorable game. Now I think I got all the gold with that wash. I think we're good. And it does, like I said, it kind of tones it down a little bit. It makes it less shiny, but it makes it a lot more detailed, which is kind of cool. All right, I'm gonna put that away for now. I've also got these shields that I painted up already. So we're gonna have to eventually wash these shields and all this great. Now the reason I didn't, that's one of them is for this dude, and I didn't put it on there because with the shield on there, it's like super hard to paint the chest and all that stuff with this thing on there. So I didn't glue it on there. I kept it off for now, and I'll glue it on after I get when I paint both sides of it. I think it's just gonna be easier. See, like sadly, I already put this whole guy together. This guy's gonna be kind of a pain to paint because there's a lot of stuff inside of the cape area that's just gonna be really hard to get to. So for the other guy, this dude, I didn't put his cape on. His cape's right here. I'll glue it to him after I'm done with the rest of the body. I'll be able to glue it on there. That's the plan. That's the plan. Let's see here. I hope my chat's still working. Let's see here. Am I even live still? Oh, I think I am. Oh yeah, I'm still live. Okay. Let's see here. Live chat. Okay, good. Yep, I think it's still working. Maybe it's working? Well, if my live chat's not working, I apologize, but I think it's still working. Engage with your audience. What's this? Start a poll. Oh, that'd be a party right there, let me tell you. What if there's something going on? Like I said, trying new stuff here. We'll see if this works. Okay. Okay. Subscribers only mode. Messages appear from people. Oh, okay. Fantastic. Are those Stormcast Eternals? Very good question, Matthew. They are not Stormcast Eternals. These are Adeptus Custodes for Warhammer, but very close. They are kind of the same thing, just in 40K mode. I do have a bunch of those models. That was my Age of Sigmar army that I played with. We don't really do a lot of that stuff on the channel. We're going to start. We're going to start doing a few of those because my son likes it. Let's see here. What was I doing? Oh yeah. I think I missed a part. Did I miss a part, really? I kind of did, but that's okay. That could be okay. I better hit it. Okay. Okay. Matthew, good to see you. Thank you. Good. Thanks for joining. Awesome to have you here. Okay. I'm going to use some more of that. See here. Oh, I'll be right back. My Mac is going into, or my Mac here, which is what I'm using for my streaming. I'm attempting is dying. I'll be right back. I get a cord. Yes, I did. That's because I turned my mic on and I'm a moron and I forgot to turn it back on. Yes, I have not played 40K in years, but my son is into 40K now, so now I thought I better start kind of learning some 40K. So that is what I'm doing. So I got an army to paint and play. And he told me I should play Adeptus Custodi guys. He said I'd like them. I said, okay, what the heck. Whatever you think, I'll do. Sure. Thank you, White Rabbit. Thank you. All right. So, we got that snakebite leather on there. We're going to put a little bit onto the arm here. All right, before I do that, I'm going to go find my test model. I tested model first, and I got that out here. I'll show it to you. And don't worry, I'm not going to turn my mic off. This I'll remember to keep it on then if I keep the mic on right now. So here's the test model I did of these guys. So I've got this right here. Let's see if I can hold it up. Does that help? Nope, that's terrible. Let's go over here. All right, yep, okay. So here's the test model. These are what they're going to eventually look like. So they've got like that gold, they've got some, and I'm going to make all of them have these little jewels over them. I'm just going to color, everybody's going to have their own jewel color, right? And they're going to have purple because I like the Minnesota Vikings. So we're going to go purple on their plumes here, and anything that has to do with like their like little things down here. Then, what was I checking here? Oh yeah, I was going to check to see what I did with the arms. Okay, so the arms I did do just that wrap thing. Okay, so the brown goes like that. And then I kind of painted some little like neat little freehand little lightning-y shock things coming off of this. I thought it looks kind of cool. Then the guns got, it's like gold and black and gray in it, silver and stuff. So we're going to do all that. That's what eventually they're all going to look like. That's what they're going to look like. But we're in beginner mode here for this guy. That's the deal. So salutations. What do you think of the new data slat for custodies? What kind of bat reps will you be doing? Are those from the Combat Patrol? Thank you for asking. Thank you so much for the super chat. That's amazing, Chaplain. Awesome to have you here. This is the Combat Patrol for right now. I'm working on the Adeptus Custodes Combat Patrol. Is the one I'm painting up right now. I've only assembled the guard. I did not assemble the other two groups yet because I wanted to try to get these and test these. Hoping to do, it'll be 10th edition stuff. My son and I were going to start with maybe doing the Combat Patrol, just kind of, and we're going to start with teaching stuff because my channel hasn't done too much of it yet. And then maybe move into some, I know they're putting out a new set of mission cards that can cover anywhere from 1,000 to 2,000 point armies. So we're hoping to maybe try a little bit of both. My son plays demons, which sadly I've heard is not going to be, potentially may not be around for much longer, but he also just got into the Death Guard. So he is going to be, he's painted up all his stuff already. He's even faster than I am. So he's got the new Death Guard Combat Patrol, and he's hoping to maybe pick up one of those, the bigger Death Guard box and work with that. But he also has his demons, so he can use the detachment that is allowing to put demons into his army. So he's got like the Great Unclean One, and he doesn't have any pox walkers, but he's got he's got a whole bunch of, oh my gosh, what does he got? He's got Nurglings, the Great Unclean One, and things like that. So he's excited to kind of put them in with his Death Guard. That's kind of Death Guard, Doom Guard, Death Guard, Death Guard. So that's what he's working on. And so I'm actually just working on Custodes because you get a lot of bang for your buck with them. My son also said this would be an army I may enjoy. So I said, okay, I'll give it a shot. So right now I'm painting these guys up, and we're going to get them to the table, and we're going to get some 10th edition bat wraps going on at some point in the future. That's the plan. So I hope that answered your question. Please feel free to ask more if you have them. So we're continuing, though, with this guy. So like I said, we got the snakebite leather. We're going to keep on going. Snakebite leather kind of right down on here. There we go. And I'm also painting up some of these guys here because a lot of the board games I'm playing right now, I don't have miniatures to paint, though I always have miniatures to paint for my board games. There's not really one I'm working on right now other than Kingdom Death, which we might be coming back to soon because that's a fun game. So we're kind of getting that snakebite leather onto the gauntlet, back of the gauntlet here. Like I said, not working for any kind of super best demon award. I'm just trying to slop paint on so we can drop them on the table. Slop and drop. That's what it's all about. Slop and drop paint job here. Let's get some more snakebite leather on there. I'm going to paint this wrist guard up here. That's the deal. True about Custodes. The Death Guard he has are probably Plague Marines. Correct. He's got Plague Marines. And he kind of got the whole Combat Patrol. So he's got a lot of 5 Plague Marines. I think it's 5 of them. And he's in the Rhino, which he's excited to use. He had a good time with that. He really likes it. And then I've read about them. They're a fun army to do. I like the contagion ability where they've got that like the kind of overarching like just rot that goes out from them at a certain amount of distance and increases as the game goes on, and it lowers these guys. I think it lowers their armor or their toughness. It lowers their toughness, which is tough because, as you can tell, these guys are pretty tough looking. They're tough looking guys. So they rely on their toughness. So if they don't have toughness, they're not so tough anymore, are they? And actually, I just noticed they put out a rule that now says my Alaris guys are 5 points less now. So now I can field more of them, but I'm not going to. I only have 3. But I might get more. So again, we're just continuing to paint the snakebite leather onto here. I think that might be all the snakebite leather I have to work with here for now. I think. There we go. Now if we look at this guy, this, like I said, is my test model. I'm actually wanting to go back and maybe do a little bit of dry brushing of silver onto this guy because he's a little muted. But for now, I think he looks just fine. We like him where he is. So to make sure I have nothing I failed to do on my other guy that I didn't do on this guy. Okay, I think we're doing good. So now what we're going to do, we are going to go to silver. And the silver I'm going to use is I'm just going to take out, I like this shining silver. I like it for these as opposed to the more dulled down silver, the darker silver. I like it. I like this one. So we're just going to put some on here. And like I said, I don't use a wet palette or anything. I'm all about just slopping paint on the guys and dropping them on the table. I like to show people that you can just take, you don't have to try to be really fancy about stuff. You just have to grab some paints, some brushes, and start to go to town. So we're going to paint this silver here. We're going to paint this little thing that he's got right here silver. Just like that. This little undercoat thing here. And that thing kind of goes down and around back here too, which is a little tough to get to, but I'm going to give it my best shot without trying to hit the gold that we've already worked on. And if we do hit the gold, again, it's not the end of the world. I can always come back and do a little bit with that. Chaplain, I appreciate all the support tonight. What armies do you play? Do you play armies? Do you play 40K? And if so, what do you play? It'd be good to know. We're going to paint the inside of this silver. Anybody can paint like this. Like I said, I'm just taking paint straight out of a pot and putting it on a miniature. It's not, anybody can do this. Anybody can do this. But I'll tell you, it does take time. And a lot of stuff I learned is from trial and error and the internet and like YouTube itself. I mean, I've learned like all these little techniques and things just from trying stuff myself. Some of the best parts about painting is when you try something for the first time and find out, wow, that actually worked. And then you're like, that's kind of cool. Then you can do it again and again and again. Oh, there's a little bit of stuff I need to hit here. Here we go. We're going to paint this up here. I hit a little bit of that with my gold. Oh, I can't see it because I'm on the wrong one. There we go. But I noticed I hit the hair back here with some gold, so we're just going to paint that up a little bit gray so we can go back to it later with my purple. And it'll go right over there. All right, let's see. Should we continue with the silver? Let's continue with silver since silver's out. Silver's out, it's right here. Let's use it up before it dries up. I'm going to paint this silver here. Now, if I really wanted to be fancy and I had some cool looking purple that I could paint on top of the silver, that'd be awesome. Because I've got these like neat little turbo dork paints. These are kind of cool. They make basically the thing look like that. The color becomes that color. Depending on which way the light's hitting it, it turns into a different color, which is kind of neat. Let's see here. Where are we going with silver? We're going silver down here. This is where the magazine of the gun is. We're going to just paint that silver. just like that. A little more silver here on my brush. Flip it over to the same thing on this side. Right in there. Just like that. Perfect. All right, and then let's see here. We're going to paint this part silver too. And there we go. And I want to get the tip of this gun barrel. I think that'd be kind of neat to get silver too. So we're going to put silver on this right here. Now the blade, I'm going to do gold and kind of a blue and some neat little combining random stuff to it. Now, let's look at the rest of this guy. I also put silver down here on the end of his weapons. We're going to have to do that. And I also put silver on the little thing here that's hanging down. Put silver on that. Flip them over, put silver on this. There we go. Maybe we're going to put a little silver right on that little dot right there. Perfect, just like that. Silver on the little thing. Let's go over here and put silver on that one over here too. Perfect. Okay. Now, silver on that one last part back here. From wall angles. Yeah, anybody can do this. All you gotta do is pick up a brush and go to town. And I think I also have to put, yeah, see this little thing back there? I'm going to use silver on that too. And the funny thing is he's actually holding that right now. He's got it, he's actually holding it as this like trigger that it's got here. Try to gently get inside there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, our silver is done for now. There are more places that are going to be silver because in order to get these jewels to stand out, I'm going to have to put silver over all those jewels to make them stand out. And we're going to do that later. No, let's do it now. Since I got the silver here, let's do it. Now, one thing I'm also doing is I'm taking my water can and shaking out all that as we go. And I've also got a towel off to the side that I use that I kind of dry my brush off on as I do it. And I can kind of spin it to get it to a point. So that's another thing I'm doing off to the side that people don't see. Let me get some of the paint on there. No, let's see, that's a little bit too much. There we go. I just want to hit the dots. Dot. There we go. We just hit that silver dot just like that. Then we're going to go with the other dots. I think there's one over here. There's a couple of them over here if I'm right. Yeah. And the more time and effort you put into it, the more you can do to a model. The less you, I could just finish with the silver on there, not put the jewels on, and be totally fine. You don't have to like, oh, I have to make sure I get everything perfect, and I have to like have 4 different layers on things. No, just till you think till you're satisfied with what it looks like. And once you're satisfied, you're good. That's the deal. I think that's all the silver I need to put on this guy. Yes. Now there are some neat little things back here. I could do some detail back here. They've got some like little jumper things here, and they've got these little pockets of things in there. I don't know what those are, but you know what? I could paint up something different. But I'm just gonna leave them gold. We're okay with that. I'm okay with it being gold. Boom, done. All right. Next, let's go with our black. Now, if we look at our test model, which I've already done, the entire gun is black. I've painted the entire thing black except for those parts that I painted silver already. So we're going to go through and put black across this whole thing, and then we'll do the front of this weapon after that. And then I'm also going to put the gold on the weapon. Let's do the black first. So let's find our black. The black I'm going to use is going to be, where to go? We've got so many paints here, it's ridiculous. Black Templar. That's the black I use. Use Black Templar, it's a contrast paint. Contrasts are great. Now the one thing I don't want to do is I do not want to hit where you can hold. You're not going to be able to probably detect and see the difference too much, but if you see there where the gun has a holding point, instead of painting it black, I actually painted it purple, but it's kind of difficult to see, so I might go through there with a little light purple and just kind of run my brush along that to make it stand out a little bit more. But that's to another time. Right now we're just working on getting these guys done. So we're going to get some black on all of this. We're going to, everywhere we got here, black, black, black. There we go. Paint this all black. Just like that. I want to be careful not to paint the hands, but if I do, it's not going to be the end of the world because, again, this is a contrast paint. Even though it is black, it's not going to totally ruin the hands. You know, they'll just get a little darker, and I'll got to deal with that later. It would have been a lot easier to paint this guy if I didn't glue his arms on, but I was having a heck of a time. It was hard for me to figure out when I was building him how exactly his hand should fit into this, because this model is basically sitting here with this shoulder coming down to this hand. This hand had to glue onto this. This hand had to glue onto this, right into these two little areas here. And I had to make sure it was posed exactly right so it actually didn't look like a failure. So I couldn't do like what I did with these guys, where I'm just missing the arm and I can just paint it and glue it right on there. These kind of guys had to glue all together there, or I had to keep every part of it separated, and that would have been a pain in the butt. So that's why they're big weapons attached, but it's also going to be a little bit tough to get inside of all these areas that are in the back here. But then also, who is really going to look all the way back in there, right? First off, yeah, I can barely even see what's back in there. I'm the one painting the model. Of course, I'll know it's back there, though. There you go. All right. Video looks good. Sound is so low I can barely hear you. Awesome. Good to hear that. Thank you. I'll work on that. Let's see if I can deal with that. Ooh, I might be able to work on that. Again, we're just testing stuff tonight, and I appreciate people jumping on and enjoying this the stream with me. Let's see what I can do here. I think I might be able to. Let's see here. Let's see if that gets a little better. Hopefully that's better. That should be a little bit better. Okay, I think that's going to be better. Okay. I will make sure I work on that in between this and the next time. I apologize that it was too low for people, if that was the case. There. Thank you, Jamie. Thank you. Good to have you here. Thank you for joining. Again, we're just putting the black on our putting black on the weapon, all the way out to the side here. Someone's dropped that, that'd be great. It'll be the first time I drop my paintbrush. If it wouldn't be the last. Now, there's a lot of black on this. I think I put too much, so we're gonna kind of move some of it over to here. There we go. Now the other thing, if I paint over something I've already painted silver, again, not the biggest issue. I can go back and repaint it silver, that's the deal. Agreed. Volume is much better now, thank you. Thought it was just me. I appreciate you telling me that. Again, I'm testing something out for the first time here. Normally I have a huge streaming computer that I lug back into this area to paint with. But I'm trying something new tonight so that I can maybe try to do more painting streams. I haven't had a chance to do one in a long time. And mainly it's because, oh, I'll just admit it. I'm too lazy. I don't feel like actually lugging that big thing back here, setting up the whole rig and the whole rigmarole for it. And so I'm trying to figure out a better, more efficient way to be able to get back here and be able to paint, and be able to paint with everybody. So now that I've got, I think this might be a working way to do it, because I'm excited to know that I was actually more concerned that I wasn't going to have enough power with this computer to be able to do it. But so far things seem to be going pretty good. So I'm pretty excited about it. But right now, we're painting black onto this gun. Keep grabbing some more contrast black, which is called Black Templar. And I'm using a pretty small brush. I probably could have used a bigger brush to go faster here if I wanted to. I'm just going to paint over that. I'll paint it again later. There we go. Spin it this way. And now we're going to try to get the top part here. Just like that. There we go. I think we did pretty good on the black. Make sure I didn't miss anything, which is probably a good bet I did. Just going to rotate the miniature and checking. There we go. And I think our black is on there. Let's get a little more black here. One more little thing. I'll go back and paint that again silver, but I just want to make sure I get most of the black on it too. Okay. Only kind of screwed up, but that's okay. I painted a little bit of the handle where I was going to do purple, black. We're going to leave it like that. You know what? If people really notice that, then that's too bad. Then apparently they've got great eyes. There we go. Okay. All right, we're done with the black. I think black's okay there. Do I need to put black anywhere else? No, I think we're good. Now, let's do a little bit of the purple here. And I'm only going to do one part of the purple, and I'll come back to it later. I kind of want that black to dry because I want to do the wash and the gold. Let's see here. I have a really dark purple, which is this, I want to call it Slanesh purple, but it's not. It's Shayesh purple. This is a really dark purple, and I'm going to put that down. Now, on the box, they're all red, but I don't like red. I like purple because I'm a Minnesota Vikings fan. So we're going to put purple on. We're going to make these guys purple. Purple's going to be good. So first thing we're going to do is see all of this in here. Now, I don't want to hit the rope. There's some ropes in there, which I don't want to hit, but I want to hit the other stuff that's purple. So this is going to be pretty tough to do because I'm probably going to hit that anyway. We're going to come down. We're going to hit all this stuff that's gray, purple here. There we go. Just like that. Steve, greetings. Good to see you, Steve. We are painting Adeptus Custodes tonight. It is going to be my Warhammer 40K army. And we're going to be starting to do some battle reports every once in a while on the channel. That's the plan. I think it'll be a lot of fun. All right. So we got our purple on there, right there. Now I also have to do the top head area here, but I'm not going to because I have a tendency to spin him on his head. Now let's do it. Let's get it done. Then it'll make me stop grabbing his head. All right. There we go. Let's put this down. Let's get a bigger brush. This is my big brush. I'm going to put up here. And now once this dries, I'm going to probably do a dry brush over the top of this. That's the plan. Does he have a gun axe? He does. Isn't it amazing? This thing's amazing. Okay, it's a spear, actually. It's a gun spear. But yes, isn't that cool? It's got a gun spear, and this thing does massive amounts of damage if it hits. It's amazing. It's got great strength, great armor piercing. It does, I think, 2 damage every hit, and it just comes walloping in. These guys are going to be awesome. I'm super pumped for these guys. They're like the super elite army. Thank you for the explanation on the name. For a minute there, I was afraid you were making up names. Not this time, Steve. Not this time. Oh my gosh, that's awesome. Not making up names. We're going to paint this whole thing with this purple. We're going to let it dry. And then we will dry brush a little bit on top of this. Oop. Some purple fell onto my gold. To fix that. There we go. Okay, that's done. Now I'm quickly going to get some water on my brush, and I've got a clean brush here, and I hit a little bit right here with that thing. I can't get it off. I think it's too late. But that's okay. I'll just touch it with a little bit of gold. It'll be fine. But that's what we're going to do with the purple. Purple's done. Oh, don't want to touch it now. As soon as I said, oh, I'm not going to touch his head anymore, I touched his head. That's awesome. There we go. Little fixer-upper. There we go. And always close your paints when you're done, otherwise you'll spill them. As seen here on my table. There is red all over the table because I spilled my paints. And then Ryan from Meeple Marathon gave me a magic thing to not make me spill my paints anymore, and it's sadly upstairs with my son because he didn't want to spill his paints either. Okay, now here comes my trick. Ready for my trick? It's not like it's going to be it's not going to be some ancient secret or anything. I've got my tricks are just, they're not really even tricks. We'll see how it goes here. I'm going to take gold. Here's my gold. Okay, shake it a little bit. Not too much. I don't need to shake too much. Okay, we're going to take it on my little teeny brush here. I'm going to put it on this side. There you go, right there. See if this works. There you go. Okay. Now what I'm going to do, let's see if this works, is I'm going to take the flat of the brush. I'm not going to paint it like this. I'm going to paint it sideways. I'm just going to try to hit just barely to get this gold on here. Like I said, I don't want to hit it with just want to hit the side. There you go, and I'll give it that part gold. Okay, now let's get the other side. I'm actually wiping a lot of the gold off on my brush too. There you go, so just a little bit on there. Flip it over, do it on this side. Let's turn them this way to do it. I'm using the flat of the brush because it's got the raised edge. There's a raised edge, I can just hit it with the flat of my brush. Now it's not going to be perfect. It'll be good enough. See, good enough. Got a little bit of gold on there. Looks kind of cool. Alright, Let's get a little more, because now we got a couple more places we got to do. We got right here, same deal. Oh, that failed. Okay, a bit too much on there. Have to fix that later. I'm not gonna be able to get to the one on the other side because it's like behind him. So I'm gonna say screw it, we're done with that. Yeah, it's like the other gold part is way inside there. So that ain't happening. No reason to try to get in there. But I am not happy I hit right there with that gold. There you go, got that off. I think the rest of it looks okay. Yeah. All right, that's done. All right, now I see my silver dry out. Yeah, I did. Okay, fantastic. So there's a couple more silver pieces I need to hit. I'm getting close. Tap, tap, tap. I want to get my silver thing back here on again. There we go. Same on this side. There's a bit on this side. There we go. Whatever. All right. I think we're pretty good there. I think it's okay. Let's see, is there anything else I need to hit here with silver? I think we did pretty good. Okay. Just a little more gold in there I gotta hit. This is where as I'm rotating the miniature, I'm seeing other parts of this that I need to hit here. Oops, I almost broke him. That'd be fantastic. I think I missed his glove here, so we're gonna hit that with a little bit of gold there. I know it's not as good as the other gold, but that's okay. All right, that's done. Now, let's see what else we got left. Okay. He's doing pretty good. I want to null and oil any silver you see here. That's going to be another thing we have to do. Might as well do it now. Let's find null and oil. It's another shade. Since again silver is just a kind of like a base paint, I want to go over it with a shade so that it will look cool. And it'll kind of get some of its definition here. A lot in that recess, we'll bring it up here. And if you see a little bit too much somewhere, just pull it and put it somewhere else. There you go. One more on that side. There you go. Need more, come here. Whoops, I'm off camera, I apologize. There you go. On there, perfect. Butt of the gun. Or the bullet of the gun, I should say that. There you go. I'm going to get in the back here too. Oof down. Okay. Might want to adjust where you're holding the mini. Yeah, you're off camera to the right a little bit, quite a bit. Yes, I appreciate it. I got to move this is what I got to do. Sorry, Jamie. Yes, that's what I got to do. Move that paint out of the way. Because where I want to paint is right where that paint pot was. There we go. There you go. Get that. I got to get a different camera. Like I said, I'm just testing stuff tonight to see if this is going to even work, and it is. So I'm going to use my better camera for my painting. I just put an old phone on right now. There's an old iPhone just sitting there, which is auto-focusing on everything I wanted to, but what I wanted to. So that's what's killing me right now. There we go. That's good enough. I think that should be pretty good. There we go. Not complaining, it's giving you feedback for your test. I love it. I love it. No, I appreciate it. That's super good. I really appreciate feedback. Like I said, we're just doing a quick test. I actually have a lot of settings on my old computer I got to put onto this computer so that the settings are very similar to what we do for our live streams, is what I have to do. So I have to work on that. That's part of my, that was, but first I want to see, like I said, if this could even control the bandwidth of the whole deal. All right, let's get into my chords. What's up?
Hey, what are you doing?
I am painting my Adeptus Custodes. What are you doing?
Oh, you're live.
I am live. How about that? This is the kid that got me into 40K now. Are you gonna get on this? You want to show your face or not? There he is. That's my son. So right now I'm working on painting these guys up.
Oh, here's this one you already did. Did you show this one?
Yep, I've shown that one. That's my test model. That's my test model.
Oh, you painted this guy's head.
I painted that guy's face. Yes, I did.
He's his leader.
Yep, that's the leader. That's what it is.
I didn't even know you were live right now.
I am. How about that, huh?
All right, good night.
All right, night. All right, so then using some, what is it, Skeletal Horde is really good for like core wraps and books and things like that. So I put it onto the bottom of that thing. My son is getting the new Nintendo Switch tonight, so I'm anxiously awaiting for it. Oh my gosh, Steve, congratulations. That'll be awesome. You have to tell me what you think of the new Switch. I did not get the new Switch. I tried to, but we did not. We entered that like Nintendo like potentially getting it thing, and they sent me a thing that said, sorry, you did not get it, but when we get more, we'll send you a message if you get one. I was like, okay. Oh well. Maybe next time. Ta-da. All right, what else do I got to do? Okay, here's what we got to do. I'm going to paint this gun part here, but then I also got to dry brush this thing because that's super a lot. Let's see here. It's just a thing. They will make many more of them. This is true. This is true. But I want to play Mario Kart, man. Mario Kart. It's Mario Kart. Gotta play the Mario Kart. The new Mario Kart. Oh, I used to be better than my son at that. No. No, he's better. He got better. That's what they do, right? They get better than you. And that's how it goes. Eventually. Yeah. All right, got a couple. I gotta miss some black back here. That's fine. There you go. Okay. Now, I want to dry brush. How did I do this before? Oh, that's right. Okay, so I want to put some of the purple. Now I got this purple from Army Painter, but it's very similar to the purple that's actually already there. So I'm just going to put some of this purple onto here. It's going to be really weird. Okay, that's a lot of purple. Way more than I needed. And then what I'm going to do is I've got Wrathbone white here. And I'm just going to add some of that to it to kind of make it a lighter purple here. That's going to be our plan. So we're going to scoop some of that and some of this purple. Not a lot of purple. There we go. Because a little will go a long ways. Look at that. It's a lot lighter. There we go. Okay. So we got a light purple here after mixing some of that together. Now what I'm going to do is use a dry brush. Now, there's another channel out there called Loquitur Gaming that has taught me a wise thing. He said, this is what you need. So I went out and bought a whole bucket of makeup brushes. These make great dry brushes. So I'm going to use one of these. Let's see here. I think I already had one out here, didn't I? Maybe not. I'm going to use this one. Here we go. Boom. Barrett, I just got all the decks of cards set up for playing Shadows of Brimstone tomorrow. Oh, that'll be fun. It has taken over my entire kitchen bench and table. Yes, it does. You know, I still am you know, one thing I'm a little disappointed with when it comes to Shadow of Brimstone is like when you go to level up your characters, they're like, oh, okay. Then you can just write all this stuff down. I'm like, I wish they had cards for everything, but they don't have cards for like the stuff when you level up your guys. So I'm just going to kind of lightly brush this over the top of this to get this some definition, because that's really dark purple. And this way I can lighten up the purple using this dry brush. So let's see here. Whoops, let's get a little more on there. This lighter purple here. There we go. Just kind of lightly brush it over the top. Now, let's see if we can tell the difference between that and that. Way darker, no definition, more definition, lighter. Love it. So we're going to put this over the top. This is just another little technique you can use to make your model stand out. It's called dry brushing. Now you can use just a straight up little brush to this if you want to, like they actually sell these dry brushes, or you can just buy these makeup brushes. There we go. I feel bad. I used to do these painting. I try to do these painting, meet me at the painting tables. I try to do them every Wednesday, but it just really kind of fell by the wayside. So I got a lot more on that. That's the deal. Yeah, I just have printed out the basic characters sheets, and we just pencil that stuff in. Yeah, I know and that's the whole deal, and that's kind of what they want you to do. But I wish they could make cards for those, like all the little upgrades and stuff. It would be a lot of cards. This is true. We have a few expansions. I guess you could order a print and play from somewhere to make them look nice. Yes, you could. I think it's yeah. Looking forward to playing Mario Kart as well. Not looking forward to the blue Koopa shell that always hits me the second I'm in the lead. Yes, no kidding. That's my favorite. But yes, gonna do a few derelict ship missions tomorrow. Oh, you have to tell me what you think of that one. That one looked pretty cool when I was reading through it. All right, that looks pretty awesome. So tell me how that goes when you play it next time, Yogi. So far, I think our custodian guy is looking pretty good. He's ready to wipe the floor with them. All right, a couple more things left. We got to paint that gold. We got to paint this spear thing, and the spear thing is kind of a pain in the butt, but we'll see what we can do here. All right, we're going to paint it gold first. What time is it? Oh, it's 11 o'clock. I should probably go to bed. We'll finish this up first. Hopefully it won't take too much longer. We'll gold here on it first. I appreciate everybody sticking around for this test stream. Like I said, it'll get better. Now that I know this will actually work, I'll actually put some effort into making sure that it really can turn into something here. Just like that. There we go. I don't want to get too far into the there we go. I think that'll be good. Okay. I think we got it. All right, now slide my paintbrush under there. That should be good. I think we'll be good there. There we go. Perfect. Okay, that's good. Now, here comes the hard part. Okay, we're going to do this turquoise. I have this Pterodon turquoise. We're going to shake that up, and we're going to paint that onto the blade and see if this works. Because sadly, the color I used for my test model, I found out is actually, oh boy, this isn't going to work at all. Okay. I have to redo my test model a little bit. Okay, that's wrong. Yeah, that's wrong. Okay, we're going to have to redo that. We will redo that. Maybe I'll use Celestine Blue. No, I don't like that either. I have to go get a new one. So I had a color I was using, and I tried it on this, and it worked really well, but it's a dead paint, and so I threw it away because it was actually dead. Oh, here it is. Way over here. Here it is. This is the one. If you look at it, it's one of those things that this pot has rotted out. It's like totally dead. And I don't have another color that's similar to this, and I really like what that looks like. So I got to figure out, I got to go find another blue like that. Because I thought this would work, but that's too dark. Too dark. So we'll have to deal with that. We're going to deal with that another day. But I think that'll be good. We'll deal with it another day. All right. I think that's where we're going to stop for tonight. I got my guy mostly painted up. I've got 2 of them done almost. And I've got, well, let's see how many of these guys I got left. This thing comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Any new gameplays coming out? Actually, I'm hoping to go to Machina and come back to Machina Arcana is one I'm hoping to do. They're coming out with a new expansion, and I thought it'd be kind of cool to do a new another playthrough. They also have a new revamped rule system a little bit. Also, I did a game called Echoes of... Oh boy. Oh boy. What was the game called? It's a new one coming to Kickstarter. New one coming to Kickstarter. It's called Echoes of something. Let's see here. Echoes of... Echoes of Sundering is the name of it. Echoes of the Sundering. That is the new game coming to Kickstarter soon. I am doing a... I did a playthrough of that, which will be coming soon. It's not out yet. Basically, I recorded it, and I'll have to pass the game on to another content creator. And when they tell me I can put the video out, I'll put the video out. But if you're interested in seeing it early, you can always be a Patreon supporter, and you always get to watch the videos usually a day or 2 ahead of time. So you can check that out there. I don't know when it's going to drop, though, but it usually comes out a few days before. It's Games Workshop. It's Games Workshop Games. They have more miniatures than the population of New York City and Tokyo combined. You will never be finished painting. That is very true. Very, very true. Oh my gosh, you are 100% right. But there you go. I am going to sign off. I appreciate everybody being here for this little test tonight. We will be back now more often with some painting. I'm even trying to get our Painting with Pals episodes going again, where some people can join me and paint with me as we chit chat about board games and other game related activities. Great test stream. Thank you, Yogi Bear. I'm glad it actually worked out. I'm going to get a lot of things put into this so that it actually production quality gets better. And I'm definitely not using this camera again, because that was a bad test. This test, good. That test, bad. That's the deal. Thank you all so much for joining. And Colin and I will be back on Thursday this next week playing some more Nanoliths. We left a cliffhanger, so we'll have to come and join us. It'll be awesome. And with that, I bid you all adieu. Thank you so much for joining. And of course, if you're excited to see what Colin and I have coming up, then I need you to meet me at the table. Thank you so much, everybody. Have a wonderful night. Oh, wait. How do I finish? Oh, there we go. Yep. Okay. Good night. Oh, and thank you all for the wonderful support tonight too. Thank you. It was great to see everybody in here helping out and doing wonderful things. Chaplain, thank you so much for the generous donations tonight. It was awesome to have you here. And thank you so much. And I hope that Max, you get hope this stream helped you get into painting. And if you have any, of course, any other questions, feel free to reach out. If anybody does, you can always reach out to me, and I'll be more than happy to answer them. So there you go. Let's try to end this thing again. All right. Have a good night. Meet me at the table. Roar. So much fun.